Hi, my name is Tanner Haugen. This is my graduate project for my master's degree in sports business from Temple University. What I will be doing is essentially a podcast video journal type format of taking you through my experience as an assistant director of annual giving at the University of Pennsylvania. The hope with this is that it will give you a good idea of what it's like to start out working in college sports and see if that may or may not be the right fit for you. I think the best way to start this whole journey is with the first video telling you a little bit about who I am and a little bit about my position at the University of Pennsylvania. So to start with who I am originally from Jefferson City, Missouri. I attended the University of Missouri football games and basketball games throughout my whole life growing up, and that's really where my love for college sports began. The next major phase, I would say, in my life was attending Webster University, where I played varsity soccer and tennis and had a really great relationship with our athletic director. With my positive experience there and that relationship with the athletic director, I did decide to pursue a career in college athletics. The next big step would be my move to Portland. Out of undergraduate, my best opportunity really ultimately was in professional sports. So I moved out to Oregon, working for the professional soccer teams in a ticket sales role, and viewed that really as a resume builder, or something you've probably heard a lot is just get your foot in the door. That was my foot in the door. So then after 2 successful years in Portland, I decided it was time to make the switch to college athletics. And since I was already in school at Temple in Philadelphia, I looked up some jobs out here, saw that there was an opening as an assistant director of annual giving at the University of Pennsylvania, decided to apply around the same time that I was moving out of Portland, and obviously everything worked out as far as that goes, and now I am working in that position. So getting into the overview of my role as assistant director of annual giving at the University of Pennsylvania, I do want to just start by saying that the job description for this role is likely different at every school. There may be some similarities across the board, but more often than not, each school is going to have their own approach and own responsibilities when it comes to their development shop and raising funds for their athletics programs. But specifically for my position at the University of Pennsylvania, I have 6 key job functions that I'm responsible for, along with many other smaller tasks. But just to quickly run through those major job functions, number 1, I will work directly with 6 to 8 assigned sports to engage with their alumni bases and generate support, donations, gifts for their varsity annual funds, and potential capital campaigns as those come up. I will also create and distribute newsletters and other sports-specific communications to the assigned sports communities. So our newsletters typically go out either weekly or monthly, depending on what sport it is, if you're in season or out of season. Other sports-specific communications could be something like if a player earns an all-conference honor, or if there is, for example, a holiday shop for the parents that we want to get the information out for. Another task will be for me to attend home and away games as assigned to assist with event management and meet with attending alumni and donors. So for sports like football and basketball, just because there's more of an event management piece and we personally have hospitality spaces for those sports, I will be attending all of, or at least most of, those home games. When it comes to away games, it's a little bit more hit and miss. If there's a specific game where we have more alumni attending, then I will likely be asked to also attend that game to entertain them, make sure that they're well taken care of. That happens more often with football than with other sports, but I do expect that to happen a couple times with my other sports as well. Another key job role is to travel around the country and potentially internationally, depending on what sport you're assigned to and what that alumni base looks like, to meet with alumni in various areas. So we at the University of Pennsylvania do have a relatively small development staff, and as a result of that, My position in particular being at more of a general level than just specifically a major gift level is to engage with as many alumni as possible across all different giving levels. So I will be traveling to Los Angeles, Oregon, Texas, Missouri, places that are closer like New York and Washington, D.C., Florida, really anywhere you can think of. If there's a large enough alumni base there to schedule visits that are worth making the trip for and worth that travel investment for, I will be supported in going to meet with those individuals. And the goal is to have around 125 visits each year. That can be either in person, virtual, or over the phone. Next up is to, kind of along the same lines, manage your portfolio of roughly 115 to 130 rated prospects to generate major gifts to the annual fund and potential capital campaigns. So my main priority is just drumming up as much interest and engagement as possible, but I will also have this portfolio of prospects that are more highly rated to make sure that I'm building those longer term relationships that can eventually hopefully be rolled into large commitments to our athletics programs. The final key job function that I will have is to organize, promote, and run alumni events in various markets and regions that have a high volume of Penn Athletics alumni. So again, along the same lines as when you're looking at places to visit, just looking at areas that have a large number of athletics alumni and identifying ones that maybe it would be a better idea to just host one larger event to engage more people at one time. And for me specifically, I know of an event in Los Angeles that I'll be going to in January. I know of an event in Dallas that we'll be hosting at some point in the next 8 months or so. And I will be expected to travel to those places, make sure that we have food, beverage, everything like that correct, and that everybody has a good time. So those, again, just 6 or so key functions of my position at the University of Pennsylvania, but I hope that gives you a little bit of insight into what that role looks like. All right, and that's gonna wrap it up for the first video of this podcast series. The next video will look at my first week on the job, so just a quick little preview of what that's gonna look like. I'll just kind of go through my day-to-day, and then at the end of the week, did end up going to my first away game. So we'll go through that, show you hopefully a picture, video, or something in there, and look forward to seeing you next time.